Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. In today's video tutorial, guys, we are going to be tackling question 4.1 from the grade 12 mathematical literacy paper 1 that was written in November 2022. And this question basically deals with taxation, right? I've done amazing video tutorials, guys, on the channel where I've gone through this topic, where I've explained tax threshold, where I've explained what a rebate means, where I've explained medical credits, right? So if you've watched all those video tutorials, you should be confident this question should really be a breeze because you should actually understand everything that's going on in this question. Okay, so if you know that you're struggling with taxation, guys, I advise you guys to strongly have a look at the taxation video tutorials that I've done for you guys on this channel. They will truly help you guys really do well in your taxation questions, right? So I'll make sure that I put a link to all the taxation video tutorials down below. Please have a look at those video tutorials, guys. Please take screenshots of the questions, try them on your own, follow the video tutorials, and you should be fine. Okay, I'd also like to just make a huge shout out to our channel members. I'd like to shout out Rosemary, Blank Daves, as well as Kai Dai. Guys, I really appreciate the support. You guys are really the reason why I just get up and do the video tutorials, as well as the maths literacy gang. Guys, I really appreciate the support. I appreciate the likes, I appreciate the comments, I appreciate the subscriptions, guys. Thank you so much for really just sharing the channel, engaging with the content. You guys really are the reason that I'm just getting better with this consistency. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, if you also want to support the channel, please consider being a member, okay? Because that is a way to just help the channel grow, so I can also just improve the equipment, improve the microphone, just improve the overall quality of the video tutorials that I bring to you guys. Okay, so guys, without any further ado, let's get started with today's video tutorial. So let's have a look. I did say that we're going to be having a look at question 4.1, and question 4.1 basically deals with taxation. Okay, so let us see what is given to us, right? So we are told that Mr. Low is aged 53, okay, earned an annual taxable income of 495,602 for the year ending 28 February 2022. He does not contribute to any medical aid. Okay, so here we already know that Mr. Low doesn't contribute to any medical aid, right? And we are also told that he earns an annual taxable income of 495,602. So I did mention, guys, when you're doing your exam, right? When you're writing your exam, please make sure that you've got your highlighter, highlights the important information that you are being given in your question. What's important in this case? Okay, what is the annual taxable income, right? The annual taxable income is 495,602. Okay, so the amount or the income, okay, that Mr. Low, okay, earns per year is 495,602. Okay, and we are also told that he does not contribute to any medical aid. Okay, so in this case, if we are told that he does not contribute to any medical aid, we just know that we don't have to really worry about subtracting the medical rebates, right, from the total tax payable that we will basically have to calculate. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's have a look. It says use the above information to answer the questions that follow. Question 4.1.1. The following formula can be used to calculate the annual tax payable before the rebate. Okay, so we are told that we can basically use this formula to calculate the total tax or the annual tax payable before we basically subtract the rebates. Okay, so this question is nice and easy because we're already told which formula we're supposed to use. We don't have to really worry ourselves by having a look at a table. Remember, guys, usually we have this table that is given to us, and we basically have to check from that table which block a person's taxable income falls in, and then we'd have to then from there use that formula from the table. But in this case, they've made our life simple. They've given us the formula that we're supposed to use. All that we have to just do is substitute into this formula, and we just get our 3 marks like that. Okay, so this formula is basically telling us that to get the annual tax payable before the rebate, we take 115,762 plus 36% multiplied by the annual taxable income minus 488,700. Okay, so we're going to use this formula to calculate Mr. Lowe's annual tax payable before the rebate. I'm just going to quickly write down the formula that we're going to use to basically calculate the annual tax payable before the rebate. All right, so I've basically rewritten the formula here. So to get the annual tax payable before the rebate, okay, all we need to do is you take 115,762 plus you do your square brackets 36% multiplied by the open brackets annual taxable income minus 488,700. Okay, so here we are just going to substitute all the values that are given to us, right? Okay, so here we're just going to put this down. It's going to be 115,762 plus, right? 36%. We can write that as 36 over 100 multiplied by, okay, what is the annual taxable income? Remember, we were given Mr. Lowe's annual taxable income as 495,602, okay, minus, okay, the 488,700. Okay, so that is what we have. That is how we are going to calculate the annual tax payable before the rebate. Okay, right, so we're gonna basically punch this into your calculator. So I'm just gonna show you guys how you can just calculate these separately, because you need to remember to just show all the bits and pieces, right, when you are doing your solutions to your exam, right? So I'm just gonna keep that as 36 over 100. Then you multiply. What is 495,602 minus 488,700? Okay, so here you will multiply that by 6,902. Okay, right? And then from there, what is 36% of 6,902? So 36 divided by 100 multiplied by 6,902 is equal to 2,484 rand and 72 cents. Okay, and if you punch these values, okay, into your calculator, 115,762 plus 2,484 rand and 72 cents, you will get that the annual tax payable, okay, or the tax that Mr. Lowe has to pay before the rebate is actually equal to 118,246 rand and 72 cents. All right, so that is how much his annual tax payable before rebate is. Okay, let's have a look at question 4.1.2. Mr. Lowe feels that the monthly tax table is an easier option for him to calculate his monthly tax payable. Table 5 below shows the monthly deductions for 3 income categories for the year ending 28 February 2022. So table 5 shows the monthly deduction tax table for 3 income categories for the year ending 28th February 2022. Okay, so we are given the 3 different income categories, right? So if the first one is if you get a monthly income of 41,241 to 41,291. The second one is if your monthly income is 41,292 to 41,342. Okay, the third monthly income category is if you get a monthly income or a salary of 41,343 to 41,393. Okay, then we're given the tax payable per age group. How much tax do you have to pay? Okay, if you're under 65 years old, right, and you earn within the first category. If you're between 65 and 74 and you earn between the first category or within the first category, and if you are over 75 years old and you earn within the first category. So that is what this table is telling us. Okay, so let's just try to make sense of what we are being told here. All right. So we've already calculated, right? Using this annual tax payable formula, right? How much Mr. Lowe, right, is expected to pay towards his tax per annum, right? So we can basically divide that by 12, right? The amount that we've already calculated. We can divide that amount by 12 to basically see that now if we're using this formula, okay, this annual tax payable before the rebate formula, how much will he pay monthly towards his tax, right? And then we can basically use this table, right, to determine how much tax he is going to basically pay monthly, because he basically feels like this monthly tax table is just an easier option for him, right, to calculate his monthly tax payable. Okay, so now let's basically see. We are told that the monthly rebate for a person younger than 65 years old is 1,368.75 cents. Remember, when we did our calculations in question 4.1.1, okay, we didn't include the rebates because we were not given any information about the rebate, okay? However, in this question now, we are told what the rebate is, okay? We are told that if a person is younger than 65 years old, right, the monthly rebate is equal to 1,368 rand and 75 cents. Now, the question basically wants us to verify, showing all calculations, whether his monthly tax will be correct according to the monthly deduction table. So we are calculating, or we are comparing the monthly tax, okay, based on the formula that we basically were given to what the monthly tax will be according to the monthly deduction table. Okay, so we're gonna start off first with calculating how much will the monthly tax be if he just uses now the first way of calculating the total tax payable. Okay, and then we're gonna use the table to basically calculate how much he will pay towards his tax, right? And then we're going to compare whether this table will verify whether this table is correct. Because we know definitely that this equation, okay, that is given here is correct. Okay, so how are we going to start off this question? We're going to first have to calculate what is his monthly tax payable before the rebates. Okay, so the monthly tax payable before rebates, how can we get that, right? So remember here in question 1.1 we got what? His annual tax payable before rebates. Okay, so to get the monthly tax payable before rebates, all we need to do is we need to take that 118,246.72 cents and we need to divide that by 12. So if you divide that by 12, we will basically determine what his monthly tax payable will be before the rebate. And you'll find that it is equal to 9,853.89333 cents. Okay, so remember guys, I did mention in the previous video tutorials that I've made that when they haven't basically specified how you should round off, right? Just round off your final answer so that you basically maintain your accuracy. So I'm going to leave this calculation like this because I'm still going to calculate what his monthly tax payable is after the rebate. Okay, so what will his monthly tax payable be after the rebate? we were told that Mr. Lowe's monthly rebate for a person, or a monthly rebate for a person that is younger than 65 years old, is 1,368 rand and 75 cents. Okay, so because Mr. Lowe, we are told that he is 53 years old, we know that his monthly rebate is basically this amount. Okay, so we need to now take this amount of 9,853 rand and 893,333, and you need to minus what? The monthly rebate. So we are basically applying the same concept, right, that we know when you're calculating what's the tax payable. But in this case, we are focusing on how much tax Mr. Lowe pays monthly instead of the amount of tax that he pays yearly. Okay, so because we're dealing with that, we look at the monthly tax payable, and we need to now still need to what? Subtract the rebate of, in this case, 1,368 rand and 75 cents. Okay, so if you punch this into your calculator, you'll find that his monthly tax payable that he actually pays then, okay, is equal to 8,485 rand and 1433 cents. And now we can basically now give the final answer. This is approximately equal to 8,485 rand point 14 cents. Okay, so that is how much Mr. Lowe, according to this formula given to SARS, pays towards his monthly tax. Okay, so now let's have a look at the table. Okay, how are we going to calculate his monthly tax using this table? His monthly tax payable. Okay, so here we see that there's a category for the monthly income. Okay, so that already tells us that we first need to determine how much Mr. Lowe makes monthly, okay, for us to basically determine which category his income falls in within. Okay, and once we know the income, the category where his income falls within, or falls in, right, then we will be able to then determine how much tax then he pays according to this table. And you need to note with this table, all right, only shows us the value of the monthly tax payable, right, before the rebate. Okay, so now we need to now check to see if this table is correct. Yeah? So how do we do that now? We first need to determine the monthly income category that he falls in. And then once we've basically established that, then we'll be able to determine the tax payable that he, or the monthly tax payable that he pays. Okay, so how can we do that? First thing we need to do, we already know that Mr. Lowe earns an annual taxable income of 495,602. This is his annual income, right? But we want what his monthly income is going to be, right? So for us to be able to determine what his monthly income is going to be, we're going to take this amount of 495,602 and we're going to divide that by 12. So we're going to take, to get Mr. Lowe's monthly income, we're going to take that 495,602 and we're going to divide that by 12, right? So if you punch that into your calculator, you'll get that Mr. Lowe's monthly income is actually equal to 41,301. Then you've got 666,667. Okay, right. So in this case, guys, we can just round this off, okay? Because we just now want to compare where this figure lies on our monthly income category, okay? So we see here that we don't have any decimals, right? So we can just round it off to the nearest whole number, okay? Or you can round it off to 2 decimal places just so that you can see where his monthly income lies, okay? So in this case, we can just round it off to 2 decimal places, or you can round it off to the nearest whole number. The point is for us to see where his income lies. Okay, so his income, his monthly income is either, you can just say 41,317 cents, or you can just say 41,300. Now we want to basically determine where this income lies when it comes to this monthly income categories that are given to us. Okay, so where does 41,300 lie? Guys, we can see that 41,300 is actually here in our second category. Okay, so it's there. Okay. And now we need to now determine what is the monthly tax payable that he basically needs to pay according to his age group. So we already know that Mr. Low is 53 years old. So because he's 53 years old, he is under 65. Therefore, the monthly tax, according to this table, that he has to pay is 8,491 rand. Okay, so now we basically need to compare these two amounts. So now what can we deduce from what we have just calculated? Now we found that the monthly tax that Mr. Low pays before the rebate, okay, remember we got that to be 9,853.89 cents. Okay, then we went on to find what the monthly tax was after the rebate. Okay, and we got that amount to be 8,485.14 cents. Right, then we went on to calculate what is his monthly tax according to the table, right? And then we found that the monthly tax, right? And we said that the table basically represents an amount before the rebate, because the table didn't talk about anything. The table didn't say that the rebates have been included and whatnot, and have already been subtracted. Okay, so we can just assume that it's before the rebate. Okay, and we found that to be 8,491. Okay, so now we basically want to now conclude. Okay, we want to verify, showing all calculations, whether his monthly tax will be correct according to the monthly deduction table. So according to the monthly deduction table, right, the amount or his monthly tax before the rebate is 8,491. According to the taxation formula, right, the monthly tax before the rebate is 9,853 rand and 89 cents. Okay, what does this tell us? It basically tells us that how the table calculates the monthly tax payable is incorrect. Okay, so his claim is incorrect because we are not getting the same amount, okay, that we got when we used the tax payable formula. Okay, so therefore he is incorrect. Okay, because these values, these two values, do not correspond. Okay, so therefore that tells us that the table method is incorrect. All right. All right. So let's have a look at the last question. Write down the probability of selecting a monthly tax amount of 8,493 for a person over 75 years old from this monthly tax table, right? So from here, guys, I'm sure you can already see that, okay? That probability questions are just thrown in, okay? In all these topics, it's like the last question that's usually thrown in that counts like 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, okay? So in this case, if in essence you know how to calculate probability, you should be fine. If you understand that probability, for us to get the probability of an event happening or of something happening, to get that probability, we take we take the favorable outcomes divided by the total outcomes. Okay, then you should be fine. So in this case, we want to basically determine the probability, right, of selecting a monthly tax amount of 8,473 rand for a person that is over 75 years old. So in this case, this question tells us what we need to focus on. But before I actually dive into that, let's just write down what is the formula of probability, right? I will keep saying this over and over again so that for new people that have just come across the channel, right? What is probability? Probability is equal to, okay, to calculate probability, it is equal to your favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes. So in this case, what is our favorable outcomes? We want to determine what is the probability of getting 8,473 where? Okay, we're going to be focusing our attention for persons over 75. So we are focusing on this column here because they're telling us for persons over 75 years old. So that is the column that we're going to be focusing on. And in this column, when we're just dealing with these figures here, 7,473, 7,491, 7,510, what is the probability of basically paying or selecting or finding a monthly income of 8,473 in this category? Okay, do we see any 8,473 in this category? No, we don't. We see 8,473 under the 65 years old category. So, to answer this question, what is the probability of selecting 8,473 when you're on this category? It's zero because it is not in this category. Okay, so the favorable outcomes on this category is zero because 8,473 on this column does not exist. It's not there. Okay, so it's just gonna be 0 over. What are the total outcomes on that category? The total outcomes on this category is 1, 2, 3 because we've got 3 income categories. Okay, so in essence, 0 divided by 3 is 0. Okay, which is 0, meaning the probability of us selecting 8,473, okay, when you are dealing with people that are over 75 years old is 0. Or you can just say 0%, or you can just say it is impossible, right? Why are we saying it's impossible? Remember, guys, we looked at our probability scale, okay? And in our probability scale, based on the different values that you get for your probability, you can basically make a conclusion, okay? For example, you had 0, you had the 1, you had 0.5 here, which stands for the 50% chance. So if you get 0, that basically means that it is impossible for something to happen. If you get 1, or 100, it means that it's certain, definitely it will happen, okay? If you get 0.5, it means that, okay, there's an even chance of that event happening, okay? If you get a value that's maybe 0.25, okay, we know that there is an unlikely chance of something happening. If we get a value that is like 0.75, then okay, we say there is a likely chance of that event happening. Okay, so in this case, because we got that the probability of us selecting 8,473 on the 75 years and older category is 0, we can conclude that it's either 0% or you can even say it's impossible. So that is basically why I'm saying it's impossible, because based on our probability scale, we can also just conclude that from that 0 that we've obtained. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this video tutorial here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed question 4.2, which basically dealt with taxation, right? So I'm not going to combine it with question 4.2 because it's different concepts that are being assessed there. Okay, so please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you click on your post notifications, guys, so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video tutorial, guys. And thank you for making it this far, okay, when it comes to this video tutorial, guys. And I'll see you guys on my next upload. That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.